Please help me welcome Dr. Toa Charm, the Chief Public Mission Officer of Cyberport. He is going to deliver his speech on Cyberport, Asia Digital Tech Capital. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon. I hope you had a good lunch. I have a very, very quick lunch because I just came from Cyberport, the other side of Hong Kong. So I'm going to talk about, we have a booth out there. So if you want to look at some of our startups and find out their innovation, feel free to do so if you haven't. So I'm going to spend another, next 25 minutes or so to walk you through about what we have done for the startup ecosystem in Hong Kong. So Cyberport is one of the main driver for really make Hong Kong, to transform Hong Kong to be a innovation hub for Asia at least, right? So definitely that's something we are working on. So I would like to introduce you some of them. More importantly, once you realize what we have done or what we will be doing, so whether you are investors or you are a startup or you are a enterprises or other kind of partners, then we will see how we can collaborate. So hopefully you can understand what we have been doing, and then explore, and then we further explore how we can collaborate together. All right, let's get it started. So I'm going to take you through three major points. The first one is the rise of global digital tech startup. So it's not only Hong Kong, we have been, even though we are a company in Hong Kong, so we work together with partners in Asia, in China, Europe, and United States. We found that it's not only Hong Kong, we have this kind of startup ecosystem is booming, but also in other parts of the world. So the global digital tech startups is really, really something is close to us. Every day we'll feel that. So we'll take a look of how it is now and see what kind of thing we can observe from the global digital tech startups ecosystem. The second thing we talk about is the vision of Cyberport. So within that, I would say, uprising startup ecosystem, particularly in Asia, what sort of thing Cyberport is doing to leveraging on this momentum and helping Hong Kong or Asian startup, particularly from mainland, to grow internationally and also grow in Asia. So we'll look at that from the vision of Cyberport, the second point. The third point we're going to look at is Cyberport digital tech ecosystem. So throughout the last, I would say, 15 years or so, Cyberport has been establishing a very good global startup ecosystem in Hong Kong already and connected to Asia, mainland, and all over the world. So we will talk about that. After these three key points, I would say that maybe you can think about from different perspectives how we can collaborate together. Definitely, I'm happy to discuss with you. Who is the richest guy in the world? In Hong Kong, probably most of the people think is Mr. Lee Ka-shing. And in fact, it's not. The global point of view, the richest man, the wealthiest man in the world is, at least up to July, is this guy, Jeff Bezos. You look at this chart. For the last 3 to 4 years, actually ex-Microsoft CEO, Bill Gates, was the richest man in the world. But actually this year, July, the surprise, Amazon's boss, Jeff Bezos, is the richest guy in the world. But more importantly, you look at all these top 5 people, they're richest in the world. So what sort of business they're in? Most of them, at least the top 3, are the internet. If this is not convincing enough, I'll give you a few charts. So that's why you will understand we're in the right business. So this is a chart for 2017, the top market value ranking. So no need to explain anymore. The top 5 out there with the highest market value in the world are all digital tech companies, I would say that. So you look at that, the Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and Facebook. Of course, number 9 and number 10 and number 12 are China. 3 out of the top 3 Chinese company, 2 of them are on the internet side, including, no surprise, Tencent and Alibaba. So I'll give you another chart to look at that. This is why Jeff Bezos, the boss of Amazon, is doing so great. The largest company in the world in terms of revenue actually is Walmart. But in terms of market value, okay, you look at the chart there, so Walmart already behind many of the internet companies, including Amazon. So both of them are doing consumer business, and now the oldest, largest company in the world in terms of revenue is quite behind of the market value. So this is the scene that we are facing. But I'll give you another chart. Another surprise in the global market is that you can be winner without any physical asset. You can be winners without any physical asset. So what do I mean? Look at this chart. This is the winners in terms of market value, or you can say valuation. But all of them do not have the traditional physical or tangible asset, like a building, like a factory, like vehicles. For example, Uber do not own any vehicles. Airbnb do not own any hotels. But their valuation, market valuation is so high. So look at this global trend in terms of digitalization. Or you will say that somebody don't like this work, but I think we have to accept the reality. This is a digital disruption to all the existing leaders, right? So that's why startup, many of you are in this business, is so important and so influential. Look at all the successful startup in front of you. They are starting from nowhere, just like you, but finding a customer pain that traditional business cannot solve effectively. So all the startup here, including another 1,000 startup in Cyberport, we are doing the same thing. Find the customer pain. Find a way to solve this kind of problem using technology that the traditional business do not have that kind of capability. It's not saying that they do not have the money, but they do not have the open enough or innovative enough. So we'll look at that later on. So this is a ranking by the Fortune. So this is by the valuation. So in the startup field, well, everybody know what is a unicorn in the startup field. Unicorn is the valuation is over $1 billion US. So Hong Kong just have one. This is a go-go van from Cyberport. But in the United States, there's so many unicorns already. The largest unicorn in the world, according to Fortune, is Uber, and their valuation is 62 billion US. So it's really big. So if you look at that, I think it's very encouraging that we work together, and we will have more unicorn for Hong Kong and for Asia. And in Asia, of course, BAT, Alibaba, everybody knows they're doing so great, and they just announced they're going to invest many billion. I think it's 100 billion or 1,000 billion RMB on research in the next 20 years. So this is a very important thing. But the reason why they're very successful is not only the B2B or Taobao or Tmall, they're so successful. The way they're making use of the data connected in their different platforms, they make use of it to create, to cross over to the financial services area. They have a company called Ant Financial, making use of all the data connected in their platforms and open data. Together, they create a lot of internet finance products. For example, P2P, for example, Sesame Score, for example, all different kinds of loan financing product. They are doing much better than the traditional bank. So again, this is when they started, they also is a very small company. So how they make use of technology, software, data to make a fortune, to solve the problem. One typical example is they have the Yu'aobao. So previously bank, they only serve biggest customer. They at least have a few 100,000 RMB, for example. If you have only 100 RMB, who care about you, right? All the banks will care about you. But now you can make use of Yu'ao, even you have 100 Hong Kong dollars or RMB, you can invest. You can request for return from your investment. So that is something really beautiful because it can solve the customer problem, right? So China is great. Of course, Israel and Silicon Valley is still leading the way, but China is not that far away. So that's why you see so many brilliant minds from China today, right here, right now. But if you look at the innovation from China, I don't have time to explain in detail, but you look at that, some of the innovation China is doing so great. For example, digital tax solutions, apps, they for consumer market, China is doing so well. It's even better than anywhere in the world because they have a very good market to test different types of products. And they have a lot of customer pain points that they can solve by technologies. And the other innovation they're doing so good is, very important, is the Greater Bay Area that we are in now. You see all the Shenzhen startup here. Because when you do hardware, you need to have an ecosystem. When you do a prototype for innovation, you need to have an ecosystem to produce your prototype, to manufacture your product in a much costly way. A very effective way, efficient way. So I think the market, these two types of innovation, China is doing so well. China is still behind in certain sense is the science and technology things that you do not have the history and culture and also enough patents, enough talents to do that kind of thing. So if you're interested, you can go to these McKinsey report to look at that further. So this is very fresh yesterday. I'm sure that you were here and you probably watched the news from local media or from CNN, from BCC. So this is our chief executive, and she actually is a good fan of technologies. So she announced in her policy address, a series of policy is supporting the development of innovation and technology in Hong Kong. So if you come to Hong Kong, say for example, you join a Cyberport community, you can enjoy a lot of support in terms of taxation, in terms of incubation, in terms of investment, funding, you name it. So I think it's no better time for you, if you're not yet here in Hong Kong, to come to Hong Kong and leverage on Hong Kong to develop your startup these days. You can tap into the China market, you can tap into the Asia market, you also can tap into the US and UK and Europe market. Hong Kong is a super connected with all these kind of innovation and technology policy and funding and all sort of thing. So I'll tell you a little bit more on that. So the second thing, now we have a global scene, so everybody is trying to compete in innovation, compete in technology. It's not the only thing that the Silicon Valley can do. Asia, we do have a big market. If we can get all the local innovation up and running, for example, if you're doing e-payment, you're doing e-wallet, there's a huge market in Asia. So one of our startups called TNG from Cyberport, they are doing e-wallet. Now they are having their product running in 12 countries in Asia already. They just closed a investment round, and you know how much money they raised? It's 150 million US dollars. That means close to 900 million Hong Kong dollars. It's round A only. So you see the potential. If you can prove you have attraction in Asia, there's a lot of investors are willing to invest on you because they know that you have the Asian market, including China. So I think it's a very important, very good moment for you to consider, if you have not, to make use of Hong Kong and develop your market to Asia and China. That's the message. So Cyberport, so we are here to do that, to enable you, to facilitate you to do that. Our vision is to aspire to be a main force in developing the digital tech industry as a key economic driver of Hong Kong. Remember what our CE said? Look at the number there, the green one. Previously, we are very, very far behind from the world standard in terms of how much money we spend on R&D. Hong Kong is a very rich society, but in terms of the money we spend on R&D, it's very minimal. because everybody is focusing on property, logistic, retail, and so on and so forth. Nobody is very serious about technology and innovation. Now the whole scene has changed. And look at that. It's 100% increase in terms of R&D spending. So if you set up a company in Hong Kong, you have 100% more chances that you can get funding from the government in terms of research. Right? So it's a very, very good sign for Hong Kong. In fact, this is more and if you look at the news, you'll see more and more ideas and items, policies that are given out from the government to support this kind of development. Okay, let's go back to that. So with this vision, so we have built a campus in Hong Kong in a very luxury area. This is all very expensive property there. But we do have a very good fortune to have a space about 1 million square feet. 1 million square feet is about 100,000 square meters. And then we have 1,000 digital tech companies over there. All sorts of digital tech companies, including today wearables, IoT, AI, big data, fintech, e-commerce, education tech, esports, gaming, digital entertainment, you name it. So if you become part of our community, you can join and then mingle and then networking and find opportunities. More importantly, I think investors. So we have a lot of big IT companies here in Cyberport, but also more importantly, we have all the energetic, passionate startups. The girls and the ladies, they are making use of Cyberport ecosystem to nurture their startup. We connect them to investors. We connect them to enterprises. We connect them to the government and regulators. So you get all the connection you need, all the funding you need, all the customer you need, just in one stop. This is Cyberport. So we welcome not only local Hong Kong startup, but all over the world. If you are coming from China, mainland China, Asia, Africa, United States, Israel, UK, you name it, as long as you register as a Hong Kong company, and then you can enjoy the platform that we are providing to you. All right, and then we talk about, we already have a unicorn, it's GoGoVan. So in August 29th, they actually merged with another Chinese company, and then together, the valuation is over $1 billion. And TNG, I just mentioned about, they already have business in 12 Asian countries. Their valuation is actually half a unicorn, $500 million. So the third thing I want to kick you through, so I still have about 10 minutes or so. So this is, now you understand the global scene, you understand what Cyberport Hong Kong is doing, trying to be one of the leaders in the global digital tech ecosystem. Now, I will give you some example. So once you join our platform, this three works is very important. We nurture, we scale your company, and then we connect you. So this is a very important three keywords. So when you lack of, say, for example, you have an e-commerce application, you don't know too much about AI, we train you up, right? And then the scale, if you are a business only in Hong Kong or only in Shenzhen, you want to scale it in terms of expanding to different markets, we scale you up. Another way to look at scale is investment. So I only have a 5 million Hong Kong dollars to start with. How I can scale up? You need to have investment. So Cyberport, we have a Cyberport Investors Network. We have the Chinese, we have the Hong Kong guys, we have the US guy, we have the UK guy, all the investors in our network. Every day they're coming to Cyberport to look at all different types of startups in our community. And if you are good enough, then they will invest in you, right? And also we teach our startup how to pitch to different types of investors with different appetite. So all this kind of thing. And then connect is very important. How we can connect you to the right person, enterprises, connect to the different markets, connect to different investors. So those are the things we're working hard on that. So look at these. We have, starting from the funding side, from the seeding money to incubation, to accelerator, to investment. So the whole range of funding for different types of stages of startup, we do support you, right? And then how we nurture, right? How we nurture you as a young entrepreneur or startup. So we send people, every year we send top university students to Stanford to learn about fintech, for example. And we have hackathon working with, say, for example, banks, like in Hong Kong, Hang Seng Bank, to really have a platform for the university student to test out their skills and innovation, making use of AI, for example. We train, as I said, we got the UC Berkeley to come here to train our startup how to do angel investment pitching, right? And this is another example how we nurture. And we work with Hong Kong U, University of Hong Kong, and also other major universities in Hong Kong to nurture our startups. And then we have internship to get all the students to feel about how the digital tech works and how an entrepreneur's startup works. The second thing we talk about is scale, right? So besides we nurture you, we also scale you. That means what do we mean? That means we help you to get money, to get investment. So look at all these famous startups from Cyberport, including GoGoWen, TNG, Look, and Slidebacks. And we have the whole offering that people are getting funding. This is our daily job to help them to get investment. And then this is the investment going very up fast. And we also invest our own. And another way to scale you is not only money, we help you to expand to different parts of the world. So we already expand, helping a lot of money coming into Hong Kong and expanding to the rest of the world. So this is the partnership, the global partner we already established around the whole world. So coming to Cyberport, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. We connect you to different parts of the markets, different parts of the world. And then we also support our startup to join different types of famous accelerator. You are in the startup world, you should know this 3-1. Y Combinator, Plug and Pay, and Financial Startup. We already support a dozen of startups to attend this kind of accelerator. Financially, we support them to attend it. And then we connect up all over the world, Taiwan, China, Korea, and all this kind of thing. We work with Alibaba, we work with Tencent, we have with Baidu to have a lot of training, and we work with a lot of partners in China as well. So I would like to also, from another perspective, is the cluster we're working on. So besides IoT and wearables, we also work on like fintech, e-commerce, AI, big data is our major clusters we are focusing on. So if you're in the fintech area, we already established an ecosystem to help you. So if you are, so for example, we have the seminar, we have the fintech centers. We just came back from UK. We lead delegation to UK to learn about fintech. We have the international conference about fintech. We have very close relationship with a regulator like Hong Kong MA, FSC, and Hong Kong IA. We have won a lot of awards fintech, and so on and so forth, right? Another sector we would like to show you is about, we have a lot of events. Go to our website, you can see a lot of activities on fintech. The other area I really want to bring out, I know I'm running out of time, but I really want to bring out is AI is very important. Whether you're working on IoT or wearables, whether you're working on fintech, AI is the future. So Cyberport is getting together and also driving the growth of AI in Hong Kong. So I'll give you some example. So this is the activity that we are organizing just in October, all about AI. So if you want to learn more about AI and learn from the leading AI expert around the whole world, come to join us, all right? And you will learn a lot from that. So I think we have some brochure out there, or not, go to our booth and you can find it out. And then we have working with banks, Hong Kong MA on the AI thing, Ping Han. We have competition, working with these enterprises to do big data competition. We're working with banks. We're working with Facebook and Alibaba, all big data. And then we have competition hackathon on big data. And we have all this kind of AI startup in Cyberport as well. So last but not least, I'll show you the schedule here. This is my last slide, promise. So this is another one, it's very important, connects. investors connect. So coming up in November 1st, we have a Cyberport Venture Capital Forum. Don't miss it. Because if you are a startup, you are an investor, you want to meet with these guys. You want to find money, come to Cyberport on November 1st. Because we will gather all the important investors in Cyberport on that day. All right, so I think I will just skip it because I will leave some time for the next speaker. So I will stay here. I know it's a little bit rushed, so let me know if you have any question. Go to our booth, talk to our colleagues, and you know more about Cyberport. We also very, very welcome you to visit Cyberport and become a part of Cyberport in the future. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So,
Any questions? Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Tao.
Yes.
And I'm a Hong Konger, but now I moved my staff team to Shenzhen, which is closer to the hardware center.
Yeah.
And the one key thing is for me is like Shenzhen is more easier, faster way, efficiency to put the product. And I mean, if we move to the Cyberport, is there any kind of source that can help us to grow like that way? Because we are kind of like an industry designer in some kind of smart wearable company.
Yeah, thank you for your question. I think it's a very typical. We have so many startups just like you. They have the headquarters in Cyberport, but they also have a research or technical team in Shenzhen. So you can get the best from the both worlds. So we are welcome to you have that kind of setup. So in Hong Kong, I think in terms of a lot of design, a lot of engineers, and particularly in the financial side, investment, we do have advantages. For example, next year in Hong Kong, the Hong Kong Stock Exchange is going to launch a new board, particularly for startup to be listed in the Hong Kong stock market. So I think there's so many things, and regulators as well. So I think if, particularly in Shenzhen and Hong Kong, actually we are doing a lot of collaboration with Shenzhen. So I would suggest if you are a startup, whether you're coming from mainland China or you are from Hong Kong, you can make use of both sides and then to help you to grow. We do have a lot of global connections that we can connect you, right? So we do have a lot of financing and funding and investors side that we can help you. We do have some innovation side that probably we do have some advantages. So I will encourage you, if you are doing IoT and wearables mainly, but you also need big data and AI as well. So join us, but also you have an office in both sides. That will be the best thing. And we are setting up something in Shenzhen also. So even now you do not have a Shenzhen office. Later on you can have an office in Cyberport and also an office in Cyberport in Shenzhen. And then you can get the best from the both worlds. So we look forward to helping you and all of you to enjoy that kind of platforms.
But is the system charge any fee for the Cyberport?
There's different options, you will say that. So if you are applying for incubation program, if you get admitted, there's so many things free of charge, right? But if you are just renting a space, an office in Cyberport, some of the services is free, some of the services we need to charge you. But definitely once you get into our platform, for example, Alibaba to come to Cyberport and they're looking for wearable startup, we will got all the startup in that category and then we show to Alibaba. So it doesn't matter you are incubators or co-working space user, you have the chance to see Alibaba. So that is a whole range of arrangement options that you can choose from. Of course, the best way to enjoy 100% all the services we talk about is you become our incubators. But it's not easy because every year we only take up 100 companies as our incubators. So you need to compete with all other people in order to get in. But you can apply many, many times, right? This year you cannot get in, next year you can get in. So that is how it works now. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
any more questions? So if you have any questions for Dr. Toa Charm, you can you're welcome to ask the speaker directly on the floor. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Please give a big hand to Dr. Toa Charm. Thank you.